In Dynopunk, you play as the last surviving T-Rex on Earth, trying to build a time machine to travel to the past and find your true love. That's the main premise, but the overall day-to-day gameplay is a lot more chill than that. You play as Chris, who's just moved to a new city and started his own repair shop. The atmosphere is, I'd say, somewhere between cyberpunk and synthwave, and everything from the music and backgrounds to the character designs and story themes all mesh together really well. This is my first real visual novel game, and after beating it in about 6 hours, I'll absolutely be coming back to this genre for more. Gameplay in Dynopunk switches between fixing gadgets and talking to characters, with a bit of decorating and web browsing thrown in at the end of each day. It really doesn't get much more complex than that, but there is a lot of variation. For example, the repair minigame is pretty simple. You either have to cut out a shape with your mouse laser or remove a broken part and replace it with a new one. But there's a decent amount of variation when doing these two tasks. Your mentor, if you can call it that, is this sassy 3D printer who'll guide you through your first few repairs and sometimes even encourage you to break things for an extra cash bonus. It also gives you a little background on the old man that you bought the shop from, creating a bit of a mystery. Besides the printer, you'll mainly be talking to other dinos that come into the repair shop, but again, there is some variation here. A couple different backgrounds or places you go to keep things fresh. No spoilers though. As for the actual characters, there are a lot more than I thought there'd be, and again, I really like these character designs. This is definitely an eclectic bunch, and they cover just about every cyberpunk trope in what I feel is a lovable and charming way. Sometimes cheesy, but I don't really mind. You have this mood meter in the bottom left corner, and your dialogue choices will cause it to sway one way or another. Each time you do influence someone's demeanor, there's a nice little animation that goes along with it. One for the good choice and another for the bad. I'm using air quotes here for good and bad because there aren't really any black and white choices, which is really how any impactful narrative game should be. One option may be good for you but bad for the NPC and vice versa. Or there might be a completely unintended outcome that you never saw coming. I actually did find myself feeling bad for some of these characters or feeling like a jerk when seeing their reactions, which I'd say is a sign of some well-developed characters. Even some of the dinos who are mean to you do have their own backstories and reasons for acting the way they do, and your decisions will really impact their lives. I'm suspecting there is some illusion of choice going on. I haven't really looked into all the possible outcomes, but at the end of the game, there's this little section that shows you where each character ends up, and then you get an appropriate achievement for that. Some characters have 3 or 4 different options, and you can only lock one during a certain playthrough. So if you are into achievement hunting, you're gonna have to complete the game a couple different times to unlock all of them, but after beating the game once, you do have the option of starting back up from any day that you choose. There's actually a free prologue you can try out on Steam right now called Dynopunk Welcome to Synth City, and most reviews have 2 to 3 hours in the game, so it'll definitely give you a good look at all the mechanics and stuff I mentioned if you're on the fence about this one. At the end of the day, it's kind of comforting to know that even in a world where that pesky meteor failed to wipe out the dinosaurs and primates never evolved into the advanced species we call humans, the world is still just as messed up, but also just as beautiful.